The Fire Standards Board is an independently chaired board. It's composed of individuals who represent institutions which have an interest in the fire and rescue services of England. Employers, the NFCC, the Home Office, and I'm the independent chair, and there's an independent vice chair, Alison Sansom. We are there to identify, develop, and then maintain a suite of standards for the fire and rescue services of England. And we're supported by other bodies that feed into it, like the Strategic Engagement Forum and the National Fire Chief Council and their subgroups. The Fire Standards Board is part of the fire reform program, which also includes the inspectorate's involvement. And it is there really to create a suite of standards which are going to help produce continuous improvement in the professionalism of the fire rescue services in England. It is about what does good look like? And we're trying to achieve that by creating a suite of standards in which we will look at what effectively is needed for that suite to cover all the things which fire and rescue services do, and then to prioritize their development in a way which can be accessible to those who have to apply it. It's hoped that the work we will do will also be influential for those providing fire and rescue services in the devolved administrations, the devolved nations, so that there can be greater collaboration and cross-border working. Standards are important both for the services achieving continuous improvement, but also they would want to give assurance to the public that the services, wherever they're located, are actually producing a good service for them. And it's important for the service that they're able to show that they're able to achieve standards irrespective of their demographic and their geographic location. Recognizing this, the Standard Board does not feel standards should be prescriptive, although that may be required in some parts, but essentially principle-based and understood in the way that outcomes should be achieved. The Inspectorate and the Fire Standards Board are both part of the fire reform program, and the Inspectorate is a body that we are engaged with and communicating with. We are putting in place a memorandum of understanding about how we will communicate, and they are important as a means for us to gain information about how standards that we might be developing are applied, whether that's consistent and uniform across all the services. And we will feed to them because the standards will influence how they inspect. But it would be wrong to think they are the only element which will influence the suite of standards and their development and prioritization in the way we develop them. Hackett, Grenville, all have, and other reports, all have input into the way we will develop the suite, as will, for example, the information we get direct from services. And I and the independent chair are making a point of going out and visiting services across England in order to gain a real insight into how fire and rescue services work on the ground and the individuals that do the wonderful work that the services do. The Fire Standards Board is really at the start of the process of developing the suite of standards. And as we start now, and as we go through this process, which is not going to be a short journey, but a long-term development in which we will be communicating with the services and they communicating with us. It's very important that everyone in fire and rescue service, at whatever level, engages with us, responds to our consultation, talks to us when we come and visit, gives us information that will help us create standards which will help the services and by so doing help the public.